my man. He's Craig Hodges on our hotline. Craig, how are you? Welcome to the Rewind Sports 60, my man.
I appreciate you, brother. Peace and blessings to you and your listening audience during this crazy time, man. Hope all is well.
Thank you so very much. And I think everybody is trying to stay as safe and well as they possibly can. This is the fastest hour in sports conversation, Craig. You and I have talked many times in the past few years. We don't have much time to talk about so much that's going on, but we appreciate you taking your time on the Mother's Day to join us on our show to talk Last Dance, man. And I believe you've been making your media rounds the past couple of days or whatever regarding your comment that you made. And I got to tell you this. I actually agree with what you said regarding Michael Jordan's comment, I think in episode 3, about the cocaine circus. Because when I heard Michael Jordan, he came into the league and he said he went to the hotel, he was in a hotel when he went to knock on one of the players' door and he heard all this commotion going on and half the team was in there partying. I looked over to my wife and I said, Lise, why is he throwing all these guys under the bus? I swear to you, I said, why is he throwing them under the bus? I go, this is how many years ago, but you ain't got to call these cats out and tell everybody what they're doing. I gotta agree with you on that, man.
Yeah, and for me, it's one of those things where you have young people excited about the game, and family members of people probably looking forward to watching their loved one who played with Michael, watching this, looking forward to watching this documentary, and then it winds up being, as opposed to it being an entertainment, it turns out to be something that's an inquisition of the uncle or dad who played on the team with MJ. So, it was kind of, I thought he could have did something a little more diplomatic. I thought he could have said players that they during that period of time had a lot of fun and, but they came and played hard. It was a way of doing it that he didn't have to throw people under the bus, man.
Yeah, well, they left a lot of tape on the floor. This is what are we just saying? There's a lot of stuff that didn't make it to this docuseries, but I was just surprised. But what I do like the fact that Mike is doing in this docuseries, in my opinion, from a spectator's perspective, I think that he's being real. I think that he's, opening up himself to something that he normally hadn't done over the years. So I like that side of Michael to show people, hey, I'm just as real as, any of you guys. I just happen to be this guy that's very talented and had the success. So I do like that aspect of what he's presenting and unveiling in this docuseries.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and like you say, to a degree, it's cool that you get some eye-opening facts and that kind of thing. But at the same time, I feel like at this point in his life and career, I don't, money isn't the issue. I just wonder what is the motivation behind how you throwing people under the bus, man, and just how, like you said, you knew some people aren't going to like you after it's over. I don't know if it's so much from your openness or if it's from you throwing people under the bus from your openness. So to me, it's just a matter of saying, at this point in time, there's a lot of other things that need to be taken care of. And I remind people that this is entertainment, and that we have a lot of things going on within the world and within our communities that we have to, get solutions to. And that's where my mind is. So I'm watching it in somewhat a critique mode, but always with the eye of it being entertainment and commerce involved.
Hey, Craig, this is Dan Marver. I'm in the studio with Jerry. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I loved your book, Long Shot, The Triumph and Struggles of an NBA Freedom Fighter. A lot of good stuff in there. Yeah. Including, of course, the famous White House visit and a number of other things. But I wanted to ask you, being a player and then looking at it, I ask everybody this, and 22 years later, I tell everybody, I just can't believe that it really happened, that they broke the team up. And the Last Dance, you're going to see, it didn't matter if Jackson went 82-0, Krause said. How can that be? That doesn't make any sense to me.
And then for me, the way I'm looking at this thing is, it's dead man tells no tale, man. So when we look at how much he's being put on Jerry Krause as him being, being the person that did or whatever, and some of that I'm like, how can the general manager outweigh owner? So if the Bulls go 82-0, how could Jerry Reinsdorf break it up? That's what I'm looking at more than Jerry Krause.
Well, it's interesting because supposedly, allegedly, Jerry said, Jerry Reinsdorf supported Jerry Krause, obviously, and said, most of these players, after winning the title, the second three-peat, were on their last leg. And he felt, that was probably the best time to dismantle and break things up because of the grind over, just winning one championship is a grind in its right. And to come back and win a second three-peat, he felt that most of the players on the team that, they didn't have enough left in the tank. So it wasn't a bad business move to make and breaking up the team.
Yeah, and I look at it. I understand where he's coming from. Try to get the best bang for your buck. Let's have a firehouse sale or whatever you want to call it. But for me, and looking at it, when you understand how to win, you understand how to win, and that you have enough veteran players who have enough left in the tank that you can start to shovel in guys to be able to maintain, the solidarity of a unit that can go out and win. And once again, he rolled the dice, he broke the team up, and haven't won anything since. So there's kudos to breaking up the squad, I guess.
So yeah, so Craig, I know that there was some feelings after you left the Bulls that you were blackballed. What was that all about?
Well, the fact that you can leave a game and be a world champion 2 times over, a consecutive 3-point title, won it 3 times in a row, and have that under your belt, and you're only 32 years of age, and no one would even talk to you. So for me, that was, and then with, Latex Wonder told me that, he had called every team on my behalf, and the only time in his career when teams didn't call him back to see the person, see what he was talking about as far as the player was concerned. And when he saw that, he told me it was time for me to start coaching.
It's interesting. 2-time NBA champion in 91-92, 3-time NBA three-point champion 90-92. Shot over almost 6,000 points, 563 percent from the field, 40% from three-point land. You were more or less the Colin Kaepernick of that era. And I know a little bit of history about, Craig Hodges and who you are as a person off the court. But do you think during that time that, and any time it's important, but do you think during that time when you made the statement, both physically in your attire going to the White House and verbally, because you approached Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson leading up to the championship to say, we need to make a stance. Did you ever think, hey, maybe I need to step back from this, evaluate it, and pick a different time to make my statement?
And that's the thing, man, is that to whom much is given, much is required. And when we get on the professional level, I think we've been blessed to be able to do what we can for less fortunate people, man. So for me, it was a no-brainer. And as far as, letting people know what's going on with the struggle of poor people of color. And that's what the letter was about. When I went to the White House, it wasn't about trying to embarrass anybody or trying to that the dashiki was a point of protest. That not at all. It was, this is the garment that I'm supposed to wear, the descendant of African people, when we go to our regal events, and that was the most important event I've ever went to in my life. And I wanted to make sure that at that time that I was going to be able to represent, that portion of our world that's not being, represented, man. And, being able to do it after winning the championship was a great thing. So for me, it was one of those things that had to be done. But at the same time, I realized afterwards that it was going to be some repercussions from it. And at the same time, it was going to be something that my family was going to have to struggle through. And at the point of time that I was doing it, I didn't consider that because I felt like my stats and everything else was well enough for me to get another job.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. We're on with the great Craig Hodges, former Chicago Bull basketball player, three-point shooting champion, homegrown product of Chicago. That's the one thing I think that many people, and maybe is that what shied some of the players or some of your teammates away from you, is the fact that yeah, they may privately feel and agree with what you stand for, but to jeopardize their reputation and to jeopardize their livelihood, they probably step back and say, hey, man, you got to handle this on your own.
Right, and you look at that, and once again, the conversations that I would speak of publicly, players spoke of openly in the locker room and other places, but they wouldn't do it openly to the public. So it's one of those things that, it happens, man. And for me, and looking back, I feel blessed to be able to have carried the mantle during that period of time of when it wasn't social media, it wasn't popular, it wasn't an event, so to speak. So it was one of those things that was necessary during that period of time so that, keep the movement going, man, until the next person or persons can pick it up. And that's where we are right now. Everybody has to pull their part, man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, I hope that, young folks listening in and can learn a little bit more about who you are as a man and who we are as a people and start doing some good things, some smart things, and doing the right thing. Before we let you go, and we really appreciate you taking time out on this Mother's Day to join us, brother. We really appreciate you and we support you 100%. My question, we had Bill Cartwright on, and we talked about the Last Dance and, of course, the feud between Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas. And I don't know if you heard me when we were talking. I said I believe one reason there's a grudge between Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan is the fact that Isaiah, we Chicagoans, man, we love this city, and a lot of us will die, because of what's going on. Isaiah Thomas grew up on the roughest part of the city, that of course the West Side, and Michael Jordan came in here and he became, the beloved figure. And I don't know, man, did Isaiah take a little bit of offense and say, hey, wait a minute, this is my town, I'm the basketball god in Chicago, I earned my stripes on the West Side, man. You can't come in here and gangster this town because this is my town, and I don't care if I'm in Detroit or not.
Yeah, Isaiah, it's one of those things where, like you said, Isaiah from the West Side, and then MJ being somewhat of a carpetbagger coming to take over the West Side, and the people in Chicago embraced MJ right off the plane, man. So it's one of those things where it was going to be a public rivalry for who has the most sentiment and who has the most love coming from Chicago. So I could see Isaiah being somewhat salty, but he had, in all honesty, he understood. I'm sure he understood the fact that, the rivalry between us and Detroit was so heated, and him being on the Detroit teams, that it was going to carry some weight with the Chicago fan and the Chicago populace. So he understands the rabid fans that Chicagoans are. So he just has to come in and get in when he fits in after his career is over, and I think the people of Chicago have accepted him back pretty well.
Well, we love Isaiah, we love Chicago, but the number one question is, the big question is, and we saw in the docuseries, and Michael's like, hey, it wasn't on me. Can you set the record straight? Why was not Isaiah Thomas not on the 92 Dream Team, in Craig Hodges' opinion?
Right. In my opinion, it was just a matter of, the politics of the game at the time. MJ being who MJ was to the game and to commerce worldwide, that he was going to have somewhat of a say. Now, whether or not he said something or Magic or somebody else, that's that multi-millionaire circle that I wasn't in, man. So some of the conversations I wasn't privy to. But from the outside looking in, and something was skewed against Isaiah when you look in terms of his body of work over his career. There's no reason that he shouldn't have been on that Dream Team, even to the point where I don't know how you can put Christian Laettner on there, even though that y'all want to put that little college vibration in there like we got amateurs still. This is a pro thing, man. Isaiah should have been on it.
Well, they put Christian Laettner on over, I believe, Shaquille O'Neal.
And even that, I'm just saying, it's some things that it is what it is, man. The politics of the game can be ugly sometimes, and when it gets skewed to a point where you can see obvious things go down, obvious to the point where Isaiah should have been on the team, obvious to the point where I should have been signed after we won 2 championships. So there are certain things in the politics of sport that are ugly, but if you look at it and see it for what it is, you can see through it.
Yeah, you certainly can.
Hey, Craig, what are you up to now? I see that your old school, Rich East, is closing down after this year.
Yeah, man. You know what's so crazy, man, is that my elementary school was torn down. My junior high school, they just tore down and getting ready to rebuild another one. My high school is now closed. I'm like, Long Beach, watch out, man. You know, it's crazy,
Yeah,
man. I don't understand it. You know, and Park Forest, the second crazy thing is Rich East is in the center of Park Forest. And with it being gone, man, it's going to be something to see how, you know, the community really reacts to that, man.
Long Beach better look out, huh?
Yeah, that's what he said. Hey, Craig.
It's like, yes.
No, hey, it's the fastest hour in sports conversation, brother. We got to let you go, but we certainly don't want this to be the last time. And, of course, it won't be the last time. Any closing remarks before we say goodbye?
Well, I want to thank everybody for their support, and I have a documentary and a feature film coming out from the people who produced the show Black Mirror from Britain. So there's some good stuff coming up, man. I want to thank you for your support, and everybody be healthy and safe during this period of time, please.
Well, we didn't get a chance to talk about the NBA. Thank you so very much with this pandemic and everything, but we'll certainly invite you back real soon to catch up on some other things. Okay, Craig?
Peace.
Stay safe and well, brother. We appreciate you. Greg Hodges joining us on our TR60 hotline, and he said, hey, Isaiah should have been on the team. I still believe, Marvelous.
Yeah.
It's that Chicago thing coming out of Isaiah. But, hey, you know what? It is what it is, the politics involved, and, you know, the last dance.
The Rewind